right, man. It's damn near warm enough to kind of have your coat off for a minute. But hey, talk about Jaden and Ivey, man. I was gonna do this from the desk, but I had to address Frank Ragnow, so I had to address that, man. But I mean, I see what happened with him, man, and had a couple of discussions with people about it. Let me tell you this: anytime you say the truth about certain things in America, you see how quick they shut you out. You know what I'm saying? You see certain, people can say whatever they want to say about certain groups of people. I'm gonna just be vague, and nothing ever happens. Never an apology. Don't lose a deal or nothing. They never have to issue a formal apology. And mentally something happened. You know what I'm saying? And you never know what people going through. See, certain people don't get grace. It's hard for, men to get grace when they go through something because we're not supposed to speak on mental health or speak on healing or, we not really supposed to complain. We supposed to just go through life where nobody having empathy for us. And, and you just never know what somebody going through. Y'all just people say, well, it's the injury. You never know. The woman at his house, the woman that he with could be stressing him out. He could have created a problem, have another side chick got pregnant. It's just a lot of stuff. Somebody could have jobbed him. Somebody could have, you know what I'm saying? And, but most people think it stems from the situation where, he ain't with the same no more. And like I said before, man, a lot of these kids around his age group, they didn't go through the same adversity we went through, getting chased by pit bulls, having to fight, having to go through different, things throughout life and adversity because, a lot of us, especially that grew up in the inner city, we was forced to get off the porch. We went outside. And you better not be running in and out of this house once this door closed. Once you come back, you better get the water out the water hose. You know what I mean? So a lot of us grew up raising ourselves and having to fend for ourselves. So that's taught us a certain amount of independence, resiliency, and we had to pretty much, critical think through our problems. We couldn't always lean on parents or brothers and sisters and stuff. So when they go through stuff, and we all go through it. A lot of guys ain't gonna admit it. When they go through things, it sometimes it don't be that deep, but it's the pressure, and they don't want to be here no more. And they don't have nobody to talk to. They act like, this the end of the world, but I'm gonna tell you this, it ain't. Keep living, it get worse. Keep living, it get worse. And you go through things like, man, maybe I should have did that. But, at the end of the day, what don't kill you make you stronger. And he's just going to make him stronger, man. And, you got to understand that injury, bro, give it 2 years. Give it 2 years, man. Give it 2 years. It's going to be okay, bro. Give it about 2 years. You'll be okay, bro. Give it about 2 years. It ain't the end of you, bro. A year is not going to be enough. Sometimes 2 years, just look at Sean Livingston and Antonio McDyess. They never was the same after their injury, but their victories were still be able to sustain careers in the National Basketball Association. I remember Alex Smith, who had the gruesome leg injury. He was the number one quarterback out of Utah. And he said, his comeback was to prove to his kids that you can do anything, I'm paraphrasing, you can put your mind to. So at the end even if you don't come back and be the guy that you thought you was going to be, guess what? You just sticking around the league and being a solid veteran and putting in a 10 or 15 year career, Antonio McDyess was one of the best players in the league when he messed his knee up. Sean Livingston was supposed to be the next Magic Johnson coming out of high school, Peoria, Illinois, one of my favorite high school players to watch ever. You know what I'm saying? But it was a pivot. Everybody ain't meant to be Michael Jordan. Everybody meant to be Jason Kidd. Everybody ain't meant to be the great LeBron James. That's just the thing about it. But if you can carve out your edge, and mental health is a real thing. And people gonna try to diagnose what he doing. He on the plane saying this, and he's saying, "Oh man, we don't know." It may not even have nothing to do with the Bulls. It may not have nothing to do with playing time. He could be going through something completely different, bro. So, at the end of the day, everybody get grace. Everybody want grace, but they don't want to give empathy that goes to that grace, man. So, for bro, You know, that's the dangerous thing about social media. A lot of times you have these moments and, you know, your girlfriend, your wife see these moments, your kids might see them, but you have these moments usually in solitude. You know what I'm saying? You have these moments by yourself. And we just got to figure it out, bro. You just got to figure it out. You know, I seen a rant where he was talking about he was a good teammate. And I've been there before where you feel like you did everything right. And, you know, the situation, they still try to make you be the problem of the situation. I've been there before, bro. Oh, you the problem. And then he felt like, you know, if it's really a basketball angle to it, he felt like, you know, he was ostracized from the Pistons. You know, when you sit there and you watch a Karis LeVert get fuck up after fuck up, you watch an undrafted Dennis Jenkins play over you, you start to question your leg injury, you start to question your ability. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to remember on top of that, these guys ain't even want you. They didn't want you. They didn't want you. Theresian Langdon ain't draft you. You ain't JB Bickerstaff guy, so that all fuck with you. When you see guys like Karis LeVert, you get chance, and then this is his first business move, you know, You get traded, and you like, man, what the hell? And they could have been telling him something. And real talk, he could have been going through mental shit in Detroit that they just kept under wraps. So, I mean, you never know what nobody going through, man. I know a lot of people, oh, man, he should do this, and he crazy. Nah. A lot of stuff that he said, a lot of people feel like it had a lot of truth to it. And that's how you know you saying, it ain't that what you say is hurtful. We see a lot of people come on takes online, celebrities, they have hurtful takes. But they never have to apologize. But once you start talking about a certain group of people, you notice it become very anal, very sensitive. They shut it down. Look at Puka Nacua. You know? And those people always play the victim role. They always victim, but being kicked out of everywhere they've been historically. And I'm just leave it at that. And it's sad. And then, you know, he went at Steph. I mean, probably don't really know Steph like that. Steph seemed like a nice guy, but guess what? You really don't know until you peel back the layers. That's the God honest truth. You don't know nobody. So maybe he felt a certain way about Steph. You know, but you know, you start name dropping people and get nasty. And get real nasty. So I hope all is well. Hope he figure it out. Hopefully he don't get whiteballed. But bro, you just hope he get help. And it may not even be mental help, just help. Like, bro, you can't say that. You on the plane. You on the plane. But that injury, fucked him up, bro. Then you go on and you see this team have all this success without you. You know? So, yeah, it's messed up. But hey, hit the link in the description. Find me everywhere. Peace.